Okay, so we're at the end of our school lunch. We've got a little bit of apple left over, our carrots left over, our pear left over. We still have some milk in that container if we didn't drink it with our lunch. So we're gonna go ahead and start with 1 carrot, our pear, and a couple of apples. And we're gonna make a nice fall morning glory dessert. So you're gonna wanna use either a microplaner or a box grater, all different styles of these. Okay, I even have a little mini box grater here that I could use. I'm gonna go ahead and use the standard box grater. So I wanna grate, my pear is whole, I washed it, I washed my hands, I had my board ready to go, it's secure, and I washed my pear. So I'm gonna take the skin and all, good fiber, and just going straight up and down. I'm gonna grate off, okay, just about a tablespoon of the pear. So I'm gonna put about a tablespoon of the pear. Then I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna grate my carrot carefully, just back and forth. If you're worried about grating your carrot, you can chop it up and microwave it to soften it a little, but grated carrot. So we want about half of a tablespoon of grated carrot, and then also our apples. So I'm gonna start on the skin side first and go ahead and just carefully, I can't stress that enough because you can easily cut yourself on these little spikes here. And I'm even gonna throw that little bit in, I don't care, but I'm gonna start on the peel side. I didn't take the peel off. It's gonna add pretty color. Okay, and if you're concerned, you can have a parent or guardian do this, but I also want about a tablespoon or so of apples. So about 2 apples, those are little pieces we can put in. The carrot's too hard, so any little bit of carrot I have left, I set aside. If you're worried about going too low, you have plenty of carrots to work with. You could literally just do half of a carrot at a time, set it aside and use the rest of the carrot in cooking or something else. So now I've got my flavor, but I want to make it sweet. So I'm going to again take a mug for my mug cake. And it's almost Halloween, so I'm gonna use my cat mug. But I'm gonna put all of this inside my mug. Okay, now if you remember, we just left school a little while ago, so I'm kind of doing this quickly so that you can see that just creativity, taking food items that you like to put together, you can go ahead and turn it into something. So the pear, I can go ahead and make another one if I really like it, or I can eat it raw. I can go ahead and chop it up. I can cook it in the microwave and turn it into a pear sauce for the top of it. Lots of different options. It's just being creative. So now I want to soften my fruit a little bit and make it like a filling. I'm going to put a little bit, half a teaspoon of brown sugar in here. I'm going to put half of a teaspoon of cinnamon because that is going to be a nice flavor, and you want to level that off. And that's it to start. So I'm going to take just a fork and I'm going to mix that around. If you liked, you know, some warmer spices, you could probably use a pumpkin pie spice in this, but I like just the cinnamon. It brings out the flavor of the apple and the pear. And we're gonna put this in the microwave for 30 seconds. All right, so now I put this in the microwave for 30 seconds. It smells great. It's shredded, it's warm and melty. And we're gonna add our ingredients to the mug. So we wanna take a tablespoon of butter or margarine. But if you notice on the sticks, it actually lists the tablespoon for you. So you can go ahead and cut that right there and it'll be a tablespoon. You don't have to measure it. And we're gonna melt it. So in our recipe, we take a tablespoon and then melt the butter. We don't measure out melted butter into a tablespoon. It's not very efficient. So I melted the butter down in a separate measuring cup. I'm gonna pour that into my mug. I'm gonna get all that out. I'm gonna go ahead and add in some brown sugar, because the brown sugar that I added in first was simply just to sweeten the fruit up. I'm gonna use my dry measure that I had. Why not? It's gonna be in the recipe. And I'm gonna add in 2 tablespoons of milk. So 1, 2, okay. I'm gonna add in a 1/4 teaspoon of vanilla. I'm a rebel, I'm measuring right over, because it's for me, but if I was gonna measure for somebody else, I would definitely make sure that I am measuring over a different space and not directly over into the mixture I'm using. And there is no egg in this, so you don't have to have an egg in your house, just some dry pantry staples and some butter. So I'm gonna mix that around. That starts to add in my batter. And then I'm gonna go ahead and add in 3 tablespoons, which I already measured out and dry leveled, of flour right into my container. And I'm gonna add in a 1/4 teaspoon of baking powder. So baking powder, you do not want baking soda. It will give you an acidic taste and it will not help the batter rise. It will actually spread out and become kind of molten lava-y. So that is in there. And I'm gonna mix that as well. So I've created a cake batter inside my mug. All right, so cake batter or a muffin batter. We've got fruit and carrots in here. I'm gonna go ahead and clean that off. My fingers are clean. Especially if you're serving it to somebody. Okay, and I've got my batter. I'm gonna stick this in the microwave for 1 minute and let's see what happens. Okay, if you can see at the end, my mug cake, my mug is rather large, so you can use a smaller container, but there you go. Okay, so it looks like a cake. Be great, again, in the morning with yogurt as a dessert, topped with vanilla ice cream or whipped cream. Who says school lunch can't be delicious? So you just made something out of ingredients you were given at lunch today.